Here's a budget-level mid-range phone from Tecno, the Spark 10 Pro. Its specs seem decent, especially since its price seems to undercut competitors like the Realme C55. So is this phone actually a better deal? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Tecno Spark 10 Pro review. Like other phones in its class, the Tecno Spark 10 Pro aims to provide plenty of value for a low price. It includes features like a large battery, a 90Hz 1080p display, and a high-res camera both on the back and the front. Another nice perk is the pricing. You can get the Spark 10 Pro with 256 gigs of storage for the same price as the Realme C55 at 128 gigs. Something else the Tecno Spark 10 Pro brings is a glass back, while most competitors are plastic. You still get a plastic frame though. The design is flat, and the three large camera circles catch the eye, even though one is just a flash and another is a depth sensor. On the front is a large 6.8-inch LCD with a 1080p resolution and a 90Hz refresh rate. The high refresh rate smooths out your movements on screen and is adaptive too, dialing down when the screen is idling to save energy. The 1080p resolution is nice to have in a world where many budget phones have a 720p display. The contrast here is decent too for an LCD. The color accuracy is mediocre though. The Spark 10 Pro's display isn't the brightest around either. We measured a maximum of 470 nits with a manual slider, and this can boost up to 520 nits in auto mode. The max brightness did seem to vary though, and we found the brightness control to be inconsistent in general. For audio, the Spark 10 Pro has a headphone jack and a single bottom firing speaker. The speaker loudness is a bit higher than the Realme C55's, but it's still average, and the sound quality is poor, lacking in mids and lows. To wake up and unlock the phone, you can use the fingerprint reader built into the power button. And you can get the Tecno Spark 10 Pro with 128 or 256 gigs of storage, and that is expandable through microSD. The interface is one way in which the Spark 10 Pro stands out from the crowd. It's Tecno's custom iOS 12.6, running on top of Android 13. There are plenty of pre-installed and proprietary apps on board, including a gallery and video player, and Tecno's own App Store. Despite that, there's much less bloat here than we noted in the past. Plus, you can disable notifications from the third-party apps in the notification settings. Sliding and holding from the side of the screen will open a smart panel with shortcuts. There's a theme store for customizing the looks of your interface. And the phone does offer support for FM radio too, as long as you have headphones plugged in. Now let's talk about the chipset. It's a MediaTek Helio G88, the same that you'd find in phones like the Realme C55. The Spark 10 Pro is far from a chart topper, and there are competitors in the same price category that outperform it. You may notice some slow loading times on occasion, but overall the performance here is decent for your day-to-day tasks. The Spark 10 Pro has a large 5000 mAh battery, and it did a great job in our battery life tests, earning an endurance rating of 131 hours. The charging speed isn't the fastest though. You have support for 18-watt charging, and with the bundled adapter we were able to top up from 0 to just 35% in half an hour. In comparison, the Realme C55 brings 33-watt SuperVOOC charging, and it can charge to 50% in the same amount of time. Now on to the Spark 10 Pro's camera quality. Despite the three circles on the back, you have just a 50-megapixel main cam and a depth sensor. Because of pixel binning, the main camera saves 12.5-megapixel photos by default. These are likable, with true-to-life colors and good contrast and dynamic range. The detail level is below average though, and the Realme C55 definitely has the upper hand here. In low light, the main cam's photos look soft and noisy. The colors are also off. Again, the Realme C55, while not great, is a step above what we see here. Night mode shots require an extra couple of seconds to process. These are brighter, with more saturated colors, but there is not much improvement in the sharpness. Something you won't find on just any budget phone is a 32-megapixel selfie cam, and that's what you get here on the Spark 10 Pro. It saves 8-megapixel photos by default, and these are okay for the class. There's a decent amount of detail and good contrast. We're not happy with the colors and the skin tones though. Actually, between the two phones, the Realme C55 takes the nicer selfies. Videos can be recorded in up to 1440p resolution at 30 FPS with either camera. There's no electronic stabilization available though. Footage from the rear cam is good, with plenty of detail, great contrast, accurate colors, and good dynamic range. This is one aspect where the Spark 10 Pro is better than the Realme C55. So that's the Tecno Spark 10 Pro. For the budget you get a large high-res screen, great battery life, and decent camera performance. Plus the phone is cheaper than most, meaning you can upgrade to the larger storage tier without breaking the bank. However, the speaker quality isn't great here, and the charging speed is slow. The screen brightness control is inconsistent, and there are phones out there with faster chipsets. But the Spark 10 Pro could still be a decent choice, especially if you value the larger storage it offers. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're after alternatives to the Tecno Spark 10 Pro, one option could be the Realme C55. Or you could look into the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 4G. Let us know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one.